All right, everyone. It's Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, the meme review, the software releases, websites by Plebs or Plebs. Drop us a like, subscribe, and today we've got recently orange-pilled special guest, Shishi. And before he jumps in on all the mania that's going on, we're going to break down the numbers. Let's do it. All right, at the time of this recording, the block height is 683,514. The Bitcoin price, 49,120. Chain rewrite days, 586. Total lightning capacity, another all-time high, 1,312.73. We need a different type of sound for the lightning capacity, right? Nobody's seen Satoshi in forever, but
I know
we're going to have to come up with something. Anyways, Bitcoin versus gold market cap, we dropped below 8%, 7.74%, and the sats per dollar, a disgusting 2,038. What is that's wrong? I mean, it's a good stacking number, but it's not a good number.
Man, listen, if the same thing happened in 2017, or like, let's say Elon Musk was into Bitcoin at that time, it would have been the motherfucker. It would have been like a 50% correction minimum, you know, but
at least.
Dude, it wasn't that, you know, we dropped from 55 to 45 and then we came back to 50, you know, fuck you, Elon, but it wasn't that bad, Phil.
No, that's not the point, right? So first of all, I couldn't give a shit about the drop in price because all we do is stack. So who cares? Okay, like all that is just more sats for the dollars. That's fine with me. What I don't appreciate is the incorrect FUD and the BS narrative. That's what I don't appreciate. Anyways.
Yeah. No, I guess you're right. It is cheaper sats.
I'm going to withhold for now.
Dude, it still hurts, Phil. It still hurts regardless.
For sure it hurts, but it's like, come on. It's like a minor scrape. Minor scrape.
Oh, man. Okay. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. All right. I think everybody knew what this was going to be. So I am going to do my best to go through this without ranting and not being able to get through every single piece. Here we go. Okay. So Elon Musk tweeted this yesterday. Tesla and Bitcoin. Tesla has suspended vehicle purchases using Bitcoin. We're concerned about rapidly increasing use of fossil fuels for Bitcoin mining and transactions, especially coal, which has the worst emissions of any fuel. Cryptocurrency is a good idea on many levels, and we believe it has a promising future, but this cannot come at great cost to the environment. Tesla will not be selling any Bitcoin, and we intend to use it for transactions as soon as mining transitions to more sustainable energy. Okay. All right.
Fuck you, bro.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's okay. So hold on. This was such an utter fail that even other fails have come out and spoken out against this. I mean, this is just complete insanity. And I have no idea who he's appealing to. Is there a president or a CEO of Bitcoin that he's appealing to? I just don't get it. It's already using the cheapest energy. So, anyways, all right, let's continue. So, all right, even the Cubes is a total asshat, and he even understood this. Okay, so we at Mavs.com will continue to accept BTC shitcoins because we know that replacing gold as a store of value will help the environment. Even this guy knows it. That's sad. Jack chimes in. Bitcoin actually incentivizes renewable energy. Okay. And then, but you know what? So hold on. Nick Carter chimes in. And don't get me wrong, you know, people could think whatever they want, you know, about Nick, but he really does. When he has a good take, it's a fucking good take. Okay. Like, and anyway, so here we go. Elon tweeted this out about an hour ago. To be clear, I strongly believe in crypto, whatever the hell that is. But it can't drive massive increase in fossil fuel use, especially coal. So the Nick tweets back, why don't you actually investigate Bitcoin's energy mix? Bitcoin is getting dramatically less coal-fired. Inner Mongolia, 70% just banned Bitcoin mining. The US is dramatically gaining market share. Do you care about the data? Okay. And then he even goes on to point out a fallacy that the Greenridge plant that he was complaining about, okay, in the first place is actually natural gas powered. Okay, and some of that natural gas is responsible for decarbonizing the US grid. Okay, so, you know, then it got me thinking, right? what about these lithium ion batteries, and what is their impact to the environment? Because he seems to care so much, so deeply about the environment. Those lithium ion batteries must be weighing on him, right? Because it's takes up they have to get the minerals from 20 different locations, and it turns out that it uses one of the most vital resources that we have on Earth that we need to live. Uses a lot of water, approximately 500,000 gallons per ton of lithium. In Chile, the mining activities consume 65% of the region's water. All right, guys, enough is enough. This guy's a total fool. Okay, I'm sorry. I know that, he's great at sucking, money out of the government, for his cars and everything like that. And I know that everybody loves him because they think he's changing the world. But this guy is just a mouthpiece. Okay, and this display is complete BS. Complete BS. So I think I'm done. Virtual mic.
Drop the mic. Top 3 Phil rants. Absolutely perfect. Phil, I did want to mention something.
Please.
It looks like you unfollowed Elon, but when you pulled up Jack's tweet about how Jack agrees about how Bitcoin incentivizes renewable energy, look what Elon had to say.
Oh,
right. So look, I'm going to put
That's even worse.
I'm going to put my conspiracy theory hat on. It's not a conspiracy. There's no coincidences, but there's also no conspiracies, right? It's very simple. I think that Elon had political pressure from men in suits. The new administration, again, we are apolitical on this show, but the new administration is pushing hard the climate narrative. If you remember New York State, which is controlled by, the left in this country, the Democrats, they just banned mining, Bitcoin mining. Obviously, they have it in their sites, right? So we also know that Tesla had just got a massive contract from the Democrats as well, because they're pushing, these renewable energy cars. So this whole massive federal fleet of cars is going to be Teslas. And you also have to mention SpaceX, right? SpaceX just got a contract to go to the moon from NASA, right? So Elon is essentially, a slave to the men in suits, right?
Oh, yeah.
So clearly Elon's one of the smart, if not the smartest guy on earth, right? He knows what the deal is. Okay. He knows what the deal is. And I wouldn't pay attention to the noise. I would pay attention to the signal. And the signal is that in that message that Elon said, Phil, he said something very specific. He said, we're not selling any Bitcoin. We're keeping it. Right. Mm-hmm. So man, that's the nail in the coffin. This guy's being pressured, and it is what it is, but Bitcoin kills all heroes. Now we're going to go live to Sharon in Miami Beach. He is currently enjoying the sun. I don't know how, because it's like 7 p.m. Sharon?
Yeah. My son runs on the Bitcoin blockchain, bro. It doesn't turn off, It's just 24 hours, just come by, dude. I'm telling you. But you guys make some great points. I think the state has something to do with it. I think Elon himself is a little punch drunk in a way. I've been following for so many years, and he just seems punch drunk. Like, it's sad to see, the whole kill your idol idea has crept in so many times, and all the benefits of the doubt so many times. And I've given up. And I've given up because when you read the stats, and let me read you guys this, because I didn't hear you guys say anything about this, but I'm just going to read it. So you guys this is easily verifiable. Just Google it. Tesla's regulatory credits revenue has been growing at an average annual growth rate of 85% between 2012 and 2020, with 2020 being the best year when Tesla posted emission credit sales that surged beyond 1 billion. In 2020, Tesla reported a regulatory credit revenue of 1.58 billion, beating all prior records. And I think this is super important because how much Bitcoin did they buy? How much did they buy with how much USD?
It was 1.5.
Yeah.
And what did I just say? The 2020 revenue from credits was 1.58 billion.
Yep.
Dude.
Right, wow.
I mean, I told you I was going to come on the show with something. I was going to give you something, But I think
the government just bought their Bitcoin.
Yep.
You know,
Straight
like
up.
take their Bitcoin, put it to the side, take that, put it to the side. Now let's look at their company. Okay, like, you know, I've seen some people on Twitter saying like, oh, he doesn't get like government subsidies. It's the people that get the tax cuts. But I just literally listed to you that they're growing at an 85% clip year over year with their, and what you can't, okay, so one of the issues with the whole like tax carbon thing, I'm going to put all the opinions on carbon to the side because people are already talking about that and they don't need me for that. So, but I'm saying like, if you're going to go with it, people can't hold these carbon credits on their balance sheet because they expire. So every carbon credit comes with like an expiry from my understanding, right? And so it actually is like a disingenuous tool. You know, it's kind of like giving you like what is it, the central bank digital currency with like a time limit, right? China wants to experiment with like inflation, but with a time limit.
They want to force you to spend. Yeah.
And so like I think this is like an interesting thing where Tesla's like, oh, we don't want to spend this money yet, so let's just use all the free money, the helicopter money, and like buy Bitcoin with it. Like that's a good theory, I think. Like I think that's like CapEx to work with that is very easy. They just printed 300 million instead of selling shares. Bitcoin's going to make Elon even richer than he was.
Absolutely.
And so like, because it's such a positive feedback loop for him. It's not raising capital, right? It's not having to do all those things. Plus, he gets to play both sides. Oh, I'm hodling my Bitcoin, but it's bad for the world. But I'm benefiting off of it, and you guys shouldn't. You guys should buy Dogecoin, right? That's basically his message, right? And this is retarded. This is brainless, right? Like do as they do, not as they say, right? And like he's co-opted. You know, I'm living in a world where I feel like a lot of people are mostly co-opted by the people who are co-opted by the people who are co-opted.
Yeah.
And I just feel like in general, like my family lives on Bitcoin Twitter, bro.
Amen. Drop
Shout out
Mike.
Bitcoin Kindergarten, by the way. Shout out Bitcoin Kindergarten. Shout out Bitcoin Kindergarten.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Nick Can't Mine and My Living Truth for hosting that all the time, and all the plebs that show up every week.
Right?
Shout out Simply Bitcoin, by the way. That's what we're on right now. You know, they didn't make me a banner.
But we like to give the love.
They didn't make me a banner. I'm just throwing that out there. Like I don't have no Simply Bitcoin.
That's part of the fail.
That's part of the fail. That's part of the fail.
We didn't make him a banner. He's got all these good stats.
Boom.
Dude, and my OPSEC is terrible right now. Like you guys probably could find his beach and come get me right now, dude.
All right, guys. It's time for
the daily meme review.
All right, everybody. The meme for today is brought to us by @Gigglesm. But they always change their name. This time it's La Samurai. Okay. Anyway, let's check out the meme. First time, 2017 class, coordinated FUD. Elon. The 2021 class, and weekends. Amazing. Super funny meme by Gigasma. And because it's super funny, I'm going to give it a Bitcoin freedom grenade, but this time it's black and yellow. And it's got the freedom inside. Oh, but it's stuck. But this time, instead of it being black, Phil, I'm going to give it an orange open dime. Anyways, Phil, what would you give it?
All right. You know what? That meme was hilarious. And truth be told, I've got absolutely nothing. Okay? I've got nothing. So, you know what? The only thing I can go with is a cable tie. That's what I got near me. That's what's coming up. Cable tie. Because you know what? The same way that this organizes my cables, that meme organizes my ideas.
Yeah, I have a rating for you guys. Okay. We should add it. We should add it to this book. You can see it. Albert Einstein Ideas and Opinions. It should just be at the back of it. You know, it's just that good. I'm giving it that good. It's a 10. It's 10 out of 10. And I love that account, by the way. Follow that account. Shout out however you say his name. Yeah.
We can't say his name. We've tried.
But that's the guy that
too many consonants.
Like buy Bitcoin in like over Paris or something, right? Like on a projector.
No. Sure. That was someone else.
Okay.
But anyways,
like the same. Okay.
Anyways, guys, that was a great meme by Gigasm. Awesome scores. We have a Freedom Bitcoin grenade. By the way, check out Crypto Cloaks if you want to buy one. Mm-hmm. We have a cable tie, and we have an Albert Einstein book from Sharon at the beach. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
Hey, when are we gonna do our meme correction for Lena Seesh?
All right, guys, I fucked up. I forgot to give credit. We forgot to give credit to the proper meme. I'll pop up the meme. We originally said it was by Sean Stacken, but the actual meme was made by Lena Shish. That is the person that made the meme. Anyways, back to the show. All right, everybody. The news for today. While Elon pussies out, guess what? The Chad, Michael Saylor, just doubles down once again. Microstrategy acquires additional $15 million in Bitcoin, an average price of $55,387, right? Again, if you go back to Elon's tweets, Elon's infamous tweet, one of the things is Michael Saylor responding to them. Obviously, you know, they're fighting. Michael Saylor is, you know, the guy in charge of pushing Bitcoin for institutions. So, man, it's like this epic battle on Twitter that we covered. It's absolutely crazy. But before I get your thoughts, Phil, check this out, right? 46 million Americans now own at least a share of Bitcoin that equals about 17% of the adult population. That is uber bullish, climbing on up. It's just a matter of time before people start to understand it's much better on the orange side. Phil?
You know what? I did not know that Michael Saylor made that purchase, that MicroStrategy made that purchase today. So that is huge. That is awesome. And I think that is a total slap in the face to Elon's complete and utter misinformed and completely paid for narrative. Okay? Like, shame on him. That is complete garbage. But good for us, right? Because I was stacking too.
Thank you, Elon, for the cheaper sats.
Yep.
Anyways, going down to Miami, Sharon on the beach live. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I was just waiting for the Michael Saylor tweet storm to be so well done. I can just imagine him sitting there just smiling, like waiting for this shit, you know? Like just like happy about it. Like, okay, yeah, let's bring Bitcoin into the limelight and have this epic showdown because you're going to lose because I've done more reading on this than you, because realistically, you don't have time for it because you're doing so many different things. You're shooting rockets into the sky, digging holes underground, building cars that are hard to build. Like, you know, he doesn't have time for this shit, you know? So like the little bit of time that he spends on it, he goes on SNL, like, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to listen to a guy carte blanche, right? And it doesn't make sense to not listen to Michael Saylor, who's bet his entire life's work on this, you know? And I think just that signal that he's giving you is beautiful because he's giving you all the information in like 140 character tweet storms, you know, at a time. And it's just so eloquent, and he has to really drill it down and be so concise, and it's just so important. You know, he's such an important person. He's like 50% of my orange pill, probably, you know. I definitely like, he's the first person to really break it all down in like a coherent message and not just like try to tackle FUD one point at a time. And I think that's why he's able to orange pill corporations, and he is the voice for that. Because like, I don't give a fuck about that. I would rather have Bitcoin taken like 10 more years to be in the limelight like it is now. Like Phil said, I wish I'll just stack, dude. Like when on dips, exactly. Like I'm happy about them. I'm like, thank you. The ignorant will be separated, right? Well, Michael Saylor always posts like a fool and his Bitcoin are soon separated. So
exactly right. But man, awesome, man. It's so bullish. It's so bullish. Every day is just so bullish. I've run out of facial expressions and words to describe it. But anyways, Phil, check this out. Back to this article, a part that I didn't read, other than, you know, a lot of Americans are looking into Bitcoin. What's really interesting about this, if you go down, right, they did a survey, and in the survey, what they found was, check this out, a survey of 1,000 Americans by Magnify Money, a division of blah, 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 based lending tree, found that 62% of crypto investors believe they'll get rich, right? So this is kind of reiterating what we've been saying for a long time on Simply Bitcoin, that in Western countries, usually people buy Bitcoin, just for speculative reasons. But if you look on the other side of the planet, on one of the countries that is outside of the elite financial system, about 50 to 60% of the world, check this out, in Sri Lanka, right? Bitcoin is not a speculation anymore, right? They're using it to survive severe economic devastation, right? Their currency has also experienced hyperinflation, so it's just another example, right? So you have this in Nigeria, you have this in Venezuela. Now you have, the same type of news coming out of Sri Lanka. You see a huge percentage of the Sri Lankan population escaping to the orange lifeboat that is Bitcoin, man. And it's crazy. Here's a stat from our one of our favorite Twitter accounts documenting Bitcoin. Peer-to-peer Bitcoin trading volume increased by 800% in a year in Sri Lanka. And this is, it's just like when Charlie Munger said this is a wrong step for humanity to go in.
I think I should say modestly that I think the whole damn development is disgusting and contrary to the interests of civilization.
It was just so evil and sinister, and it's just, man, he we've talked about this, Phil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, trying to claim Charlie Munger's claims are baseless, right? He owns, some of the most. He's profited the most off of the banks, right? Like Warren Buffett bailed out Bank of America himself, right? So, that's Berkshire Hathaway that he's a major shareholder in. So, you're threatening their very existence, right? You're saying, look, I'm going to keep deposits out of the money multiplier, and then by hodling my own Bitcoin. And then when I want to use it, I'm not even going to sell it to you. I'm going to use your bank, and you're going to give me the best interest rate ever, because that's where this is headed, in my opinion. And I just think this whole model is obviously threatening people. So you're going to see this. But you're also going to see people jump to it. And I think the U.S. is such an important battleground, because it's usually like a purveyor of good ideas, regardless of all the negative status stuff that happens around here. It's still like a purveyor of freedom, and it's definitely like, I'm happy to be where I am right now. I'm grateful for the freedoms that I do have, at least, because in other places like Sri Lanka, it's worse, and Venezuela, you name it, man. I mean, even Argentina, it's supposed to be like a developed country. No good. But I think the United States is important because so much capital could be used to like squeeze the corruption pond, because America is the most liquid sort of currency, and that's sort of always going to have with itself like people looking to be bad actors, and Bitcoin does fix that. And I just think it's definitely a freedom fighting tool, and people who are against that either don't understand it, so I have compassion for them in a way, but I'm still going to call them dumb because they're clowns, because they didn't read about something before publicly commenting on it. Kind of like Nassim Taleb with the forward in the Bitcoin Standard, right? It doesn't make any sense. I think he did read it, and I think he just said that to like discredit Saifedean, but that's for another time.
Yeah, man. But Phil, any closing thoughts before we end the new segment?
You know what? I got nothing on this. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good, man. We filmed pretty late today. Something came up. But anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. No, there wasn't. There was a website by Plebe. Why don't you show everybody?
Websites by Plebes or Plebs. So this is an oldie but a goodie, and I don't think that we've actually shown it, but the NakamotoInstitute.org, right? This is what hosts the, one of the many sites that host the Bitcoin white paper. But at the same time, it's got a whole bunch of, great resources. It's got a bunch of old conversations from Satoshi Nakamoto on BitcoinTalk.org. A lot of really cool material. There's also some pretty much like all of Bitstein's articles, right? My favorite, which I recommend to everybody, is Everyone's a Scammer. That is by far one of the best. I think even if you're not into Bitcoin, you'd want to read that. It has, even if you take the context of Bitcoin out, it makes sense, and it's a great article. Anyways, great website.
Definitely a website by Plebe. Man, I've heard about it so many times, but I actually haven't taken the time to look at it. But
it's Pierre and Bitstein that run it, and I think that there was a third person.
So shout out to the creators of the Nakamoto Institute. If you guys are, definitely comment in the comment section. But anyways, guys, before we go, I want to give a shout out to our guest live from Miami, and that is Shishi. If you want to hear more from Shishi, you can find him every Wednesday at Bitcoin Kindergarten. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern. But anyways, guys, that was our show. If you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. I'm really tired, so it's like smash. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the news from the Bitcoin perspective and the catastrophic fiat and shitcoin fails, definitely consider subscribing. And of course, we will see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.